What's good, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Rev TV. Today, we're going to talk about the greatest spreadsheet of all time. I'm talking the finance spreadsheet to rule all finance spreadsheets. It's super cool, super versatile. Check it out. There it is. Here is the spreadsheet. This is a simple finance calculation spreadsheet that I created myself. It's based on proprietary spreadsheets I used for work when I worked as a state auditor. Now you can tell it's primarily based on an auto calculation, so for financing a motor vehicle, and that's what this information is over here. You can see all my variables. I got trade-in, your amount owed on your trade-in, any rebates, registration costs, miscellaneous, which that's going to be any of your warranties you want to purchase, any of your ancillary products, or even accessories to the vehicle. You got your tax rate and then DP for down payment. Now, I'm not going to go into a how-to video on this, look at how to construct it, but I'll show you just really quickly some of the formulas that I have built in here. So for starters, the date of the note, I've got equals today in parentheses. So I like that because the second you open it up, it auto-populates to today. So that's nice. Cash price, that's not a formula. That's going to be adjusted. Same with your interest rate / APR. Your payment, I'll get to that in a second. That can be entered manually, or I'll show you how to do a formula for that. Then principal balance, this one has a formula to include these variables here. So you can see that I start with the cash price here, E4. So I actually subtract your trade-in amount, right? Because that lowers your balance. Then I add what you still owe. Then I subtract rebates, add registration costs, add miscellaneous fees, which looks like I skipped that. So let's go ahead and add that. That's kind of how I work with this thing. It's always changing, but there you go. So got miscellaneous costs in there. Got tax rate added in, and then subtract your down payment, C11 there. Now what I want to point out here is the tax box here to calculate your sales tax. So this number is actually going to be your cash price minus your trade-in value, your gross trade-in, minus any rebates. So that is pretty important because that results in a cash or in a tax savings if you want to take that into consideration when you're looking at whether or not to trade in a vehicle versus sell it outright and use that as a down payment. There's always going to be some tax savings there. So moving on, first payment date is also a formula for E date. I add starting with the date of the note, add 1 month. Sometimes they'll do 45 or even 60 days before the first payment's due, or like those incentives, they'll run for, say, 90 days of no first payments, or some even go as far as a whole year without payments. And all that really means is you don't make a payment and they're not going to charge you a late fee. That's really all it means, because interest is still accruing. So once I have that entered there, then I go down here to my auto payments or auto populated payment dates down here. I make this cell equal that one, and then E date all the way down. Same setup as that one. So as you can see, it calculates the number of days. The payment again is going to equal this and then equal all the way down. Total finance charge, you've got your rate divided by the day count. Okay, 365. You can see over here I've got a little side note that sometimes it's 360. Just depends on what kind of loan you're dealing with. Seems like credit unions a lot of times use 360 instead of 365. Just something I've noticed, even with auto loans. So that alters your numbers just a little bit. But I've got 365 in there, and then you multiply it by the day count, how many days passed, to get your daily rate, and then you just multiply it by your most recent balance there. And then I've got this subtract unpaid interest balance at the end there, which doesn't come into play on this first line. And then your principal reduction, that's pretty straightforward. I've got an if statement there because in order for this unpaid interest balance to work, this if statement has to be in there. But I won't go into too much detail there. Then your balance just obviously decreases all the way down. And again, I've got an if statement just in case you don't have any principal reduction. It'll throw off the spreadsheet if you don't have that in there. This is accurate. This is 100% true to the penny what you can expect if you're trying to calculate your expected auto payment loan. And you can use this two ways. There's no formula built into the payment and the cash price like you would see on those payment calculators online, but you can use a sweet little feature called Goal Seek. And I think I have this section blocked off up here, but it's under the Data tab, What If Analysis, Goal Seek. So if you use this, you can figure out what your payments are going to be or what your cash price is going to be if you know what your payment, what you want as your monthly payment. So what I'm going to do is run a scenario real quick and compare it to a couple of the more popular online calculators and show you that this is a much more accurate way of calculating it. Now, before I do, I'm going to go over some of these variables real quick. So your trade-in, we just threw in 22,000, owing 18 grand on it. That's another reasonable amount. Some decent equity there, 4 grand. No rebates. Registration costs, $270. What that amount consists of, this is based on some Texas numbers that I've just come to know from my past experience. $150 for a doc fee, and then it's going to be, what was it, 270. It's going to be like 120 for registration fees, and that includes like inventory tax and the cost to register for 1 year in the state of Texas. So new vehicles have a 2-year registration that comes out to a bit more, but we'll stop right there. Miscellaneous, going to leave that as blank. Tax rate 6.25%. That's again Texas rate, so I know that's correct. And then we'll say a $5,000 down payment. So based on a $35,000 cash price, if we want to figure out what our payments are going to be, if the interest rate is 3%, which that's a little on the low side right now, but it's possible you could maybe find a servicer to give you that rate. So using this Goal Seek again, let's go down here. Okay, I've actually already got this, but I'll still do it again. If you want 72 months of payments, go down here to your 72nd month, click it, enter in 0, and change your payment. That's the cell you want as the variable. So nothing happened because it's already done, but your payment's $411.52. Now let's check out an online calculator. So this is AutoTrader, very, very common one to use. This one, we can enter the same information. 3% rate, 35,000 price, 6.25. It was a $5,000 down payment, $22,000 trade-in, and 18,000 owed. Now, some don't have this amount owed, and you'll notice that this trade-in, some things happen differently on this calculator. Okay, boom. So this, oops, did not do the right months. Let's try it again. There we go, boom. So $429 per month payment. Let's compare that with what we got here. So my payment is actually smaller, $411. It's not much, but if you're looking for an exact amount, this is more of what you can expect. And the big difference is going to be here with the sales tax. You'll notice my sales tax is only 812 bucks, but on here it's saying 2,188. Well, that's because it's not subtracting your trade-in amount. So that's going to be the main difference with a lot of these online calculators. But then when I go back and add in registration cost, it works back towards the Auto Trader's number that it spit out. So otherwise it would have been even less. So that's going to be a very accurate estimation of your payment. I mean, it is going to be your payment because these are going to be exact numbers, and you can even get these registration costs from your local county or DMV there. So let's try another one here. This is cars.com. Okay, I've already got it filled out. 5K down payment. Trade-in was actually 22,000, 17 months. So this one doesn't give you amount owed on the trade-in. So that payment's way off, but what we can put in here is your net, which was 4,000. Was that right? Yeah. So if you put in your net, then you get 428. And again, close, but your payment would actually be less in reality. So there's some discrepancies here, and what we can do is go the other way using monthly payment that you want. Say you want $400 a month. Everything else is the same. So now you're going to say, how much car can I afford here? Well, according to Auto Trader, you can buy $33,249. If I go to my spreadsheet here, I'll use that goal seek feature, but I'll change the cash price instead. So I'll physically enter 400 in my payment, and then I'll go to goal seek, cash price, just kidding, go to your 72nd payment. You want that to be 0, and then this one is your new variable, cash price. So in reality, you can afford a $34,286 vehicle, and again, that's cash price. So Auto Trader actually estimates on the low end on this calculator, and I imagine it's going to be the exact same on cars.com, but we can run the numbers just for shits and gigs. And again, it's going to be skewed because it doesn't have your amount owed. So we'll just put the net there. And so this says you can buy a $33,000 vehicle. So they're actually dead even. So they use the same parameters, same formulas, would be my guess. So this one is going to be a dead accurate. So the point is that these are decently good estimators, and that's what they advertise themselves as being. But there's a lot more that goes on. behind the scenes, and these variables can really change your price. I mean, if your budget is exactly $400, this really matters. These variables can really affect your bottom line as far as your payment goes. So I wanted to just illustrate these things with this spreadsheet, and this is something that I created. It didn't take me too long. I'm always kind of tinkering with it and editing some things. What I'm going to do is continue to use this spreadsheet to show you some pretty cool, just analytical questions regarding auto finance and different types of things. So, thanks for watching, and give me your feedback. Let me know what you think.